Cześć moi drodzy, dzisiaj dokonamy dokładnej analizy odcinka 67, część trzecia. Oczywiście obejrzymy sobie też Elitę. Jestem jeszcze chory, więc przepraszam, ale no nie będzie tyle odcinków co zwykle. Lecimy, zresztą chyba słyszycie, nie? Naprawdę wiele wydarzyło się w tym odcinku. Nie miałem tak okazji go do końca analizować, ponieważ jestem chory i chodzę na nagrywki co jakiś czas, muszę odpocząć po prostu i mój głos musi odpoczywać, ale naprawdę kozacki odcinek, naprawdę. A jakie są wasze wrażenia? Dajcie znać w komentarzach. No właśnie, Titan TVMAN wrócił i te ulepszenia mają, słuchajcie, odniesienie też do Transformersów, do innych rzeczy, także do CS-a, także nieźle. No właśnie, mieczyk mega kozacki. No właśnie, mi się nie wydaje, że to był prawdziwy naukowiec i w tym odcinku również Elit to porusza i no będę do tego też się ustosunkowywał.
Where did G-Man Toilet go? What happened to the Titan duo? What did the upgraded Titan TV man say to Scientist Toilet? What happened to Plunger Cameraman because he was there in the last
No właśnie, wiele pytań. Co z Plungerem? Co z Ninją? Mi się wydaje, że on przetrwał raczej.
We'll go over all this in today's video, but before we do that, make sure to like this video and let's try to get it to 100.
Właśnie, polajkujcie moje wideo też i subskrybujcie, jeżeli jesteście nowymi osobami.
Likes to celebrate the return of Titan TV Man and the channel reaching 1 million subscribers.
No, Elita już 1 milion subskrybentów. Kozak, naprawdę, mega dużo.
Thanks to all your support, we finally reached one of the biggest milestones on YouTube and got to 1 million subscribers in 4 months,
Elita.
which is crazy to think.
Cieszę się, że jakby community, społeczność ta międzynarodowa, ale i nasza rośnie w siłę. Bardzo mi miło. Również was pozdrawiam, widzowie.
So make sure to subscribe to the channel. I have a 1 million subscriber special video coming out this week.
Ciekawe, co to za special przygotował, jak myślicie, nie?
So enable notifications. Anyways, here we go. I don't know where to start in this episode because it was filled with action and surprises. But the episode starts with the ending of episode 67
no takie
part
przypomnienie tego, co się wydarzyło.
About parts, Dafuk has revealed to me that episode 67 part 3 wasn't the ending of.
No to będzie fajne. Boom potwierdził, że będzie czwarta część. Nie wiadomo czy będzie piąta, ale na pewno potwierdził, że jest czwarta. I potwierdził to właśnie Elicie, jak on sam mówi, i potwierdził to Just Coziemu, który również reakcje nagrywa i jest taką popularną osobą z community ze Stanów Zjednoczonych. No właśnie, o tym mówię. Part 4 is real.
So now it's 100% confirmed that there will be a part 4 for episode 60.
No to jest zrozumiałe, dlaczego będzie czwarta część, no bo jednak jest to kontynuacja tego wszystkiego. Tu nie ma takiego klarownego zamknięcia. Prawdopodobnie zobaczymy, nie wiem, może być tak, że po prostu przetransportują wszystkich tych rannych do bazy, żeby ich naprawić, albo pojawi się na przykład UFO toaleta i dobije tytanów, ale to by było... To by był zwrot akcji, nie?
And we are still far away from episode 69. I have no idea what will happen on part.
Elita czeka na odcinek 69. Ciekawe dlaczego, no. O Jezu, nic się nie zmieni.
Possible that the special agents will arrive at the scene. And since it's part 4 and not episode 68, it should pick up.
W ogóle czy w tym odcinku był specjalny agent się ujawnił? Czy nie? Sekretny agent.
From right when it ended, so there won't be any time skips. We'll talk about what might happen in the next episodes later in the video. Now let's get started with analyzing today's episode. The first 20 seconds are from part 2, and there seems to be just one change, and it's the last frame of episode 67 part.
Tak, też to zauważyłem, że zmieniona została końcówka, bo jak pamiętacie w 67 części drugiej, to tu jak on przecinał Tytan kamera sobie szyję, to był ten wybuch. A tu tego nie widać.
In part 2 we saw the start of Titan cameraman's head's explosion.
No właśnie.
And I actually mentioned that it wasn't fully cut yet.
Tak.
But in part 3, Titan speakerman enters the scene before Titan cameraman's head starts exploding.
I tutaj jedna z moich teorii się sprawdziła. Właśnie to mówiłem, że Tytan głośnik powinien przeszkodzić i myślałem, że rzeczywiście zniszczy telewizor naukowca używając tej metody jak kobieta głośnik, ale się nie udało.
And he actually saves him from killing himself with his buzzsaw.
Także szkoda.
But while he is doing this, he accidentally damages his own core
No,
because he is
tutaj
trying to hold
przeciął.
Titan cameraman off.
To wygląda tak, jakby te ręce Tytana kamery były dłuższe od Tytana głośnika,
We can
nie?
see Titan speakerman trying to push Titan cameraman away, but it seems like when it comes to pure strength, Titan cameraman is a tiny bit stronger.
No to wiadomo, że nie od zawsze, że Tytan kamera jest mocniejszy od Tytana głośnika. Co ciekawe, słuchajcie, tu mamy różne kolory tych
Unless Titan
promieniowania,
speakerman
nie?
decided to back off because his core was being damaged. At this moment, the toilet duo is literally doing nothing, and
No.
G-Man toilet is still yapping in the background.
No, G-Man to jest z takiego, wiecie, kozaka na tych początkowych odcinkach Skibidi Toilet. Zrobił się taką memiczną, trochę śmieszną postacią, która jest taka, że taki kozak, ale jak przyjdzie co do czego, to ucieka,
After
nie?
Titan speakerman backs off,
Taki trochę
Titan
śmieszny się
cameraman
zrobił.
goes back to trying to kill himself off. It's basically the same reason why the toilets flush
A
themselves
może to nie śmieszność, tylko wiecie, no i mądrość, tak? Że no jak nie ma szans, to odwrót, tak? I się przegrupować.
in episode 41 because of Titan TV Man's red beams.
No,
Scientist Toilet was able to recreate this himself, and it
czyli mamy kolory. Czerwone, czyli to jest takie autozniszczenie. To jest to, że jakby przeciwnik się sam chce zniszczyć. Fiolet natomiast to jest kontrola.
is using the same ability, thus making Titan cameraman kill himself. Titan cameraman is a lot more stronger, both physically and mentally. But even though this is the TV beam is so powerful that he has zero sense
No,
left
to nie ma
in it,
wątpliwości,
I
że
guess
jednak
without the
to
lens
promieniowanie jest
protector,
mega
no camera is safe
mocne.
from these beams. Seeing this, Titan speakerman pulls out his knife and cuts Titan cameraman's arm
Tak.
off without any hesitation. If you look carefully, no matter what he is doing, Titan cameraman can't look away from the TV, and his vision is stuck there. And even after his
No,
arm is cut off, he
zahipnotyzowany,
still
nie?
tries to kill himself, now trying it with his other hand, punching himself in the head.
No to jest takie
This is a
przykre,
very
że on
sad
tak
and
się,
terrifying
wiecie,
scene to
aż
look at,
bije
if I'm
sam.
honest. I can't imagine what he'll go through after he comes back to his senses, because this must have been a very painful experience for him. And suddenly, Scientist Toilet decides to change his TV beam to purple.
W ogóle zauważyliście, tylko nie pamiętam, bo głośnik ma tylko jedno światełko. Czy on wcześniej mu się świeciła reszta, czy
If I'm
tylko
honest, he
jedno
probably
zawsze?
had more TV beams other than these two, like the orange beam my hopefully future wife TV woman used in episode 49 to burn the toilet.
No dobrze, że pomarańczowego nie odzorował. Być może pomarańczowy jest tylko zarezerwowany dla kobiety telewizor i dlatego też naukowiec go nie mógł użyć, bo go nie posiadał po
And I'm not
prostu.
gonna lie, I would 1 versus 1 simp cameraman for her. Anyways, as I said, I think he had more beams, but it was destroyed before he could show it off.
Mi się wydaje, że nie miał pomarańczowej,
But we'll talk about that later in the video.
tego światła
Right
pomarańczowego.
after Scientist Toilet changes his beam, we get a pretty good look at Titan Speakerman, and he is clearly damaged.
Tak.
He really doesn't look well, but even with all this, he is still
No i chciał
standing and trying
zrobić
to
to,
save
no.
his friend.
Wiecie,
This guy
tą
really
umiejętność
outdid
kobiety,
himself. We can
głośnik.
see that he is burning. He has building pieces piercing through his body, and his core is messed up.
No,
But he
niestety,
decides to put one of
uszkodzony
his
mega.
knives on his speaker to shoot at Scientist Toilet's TV. And right when he was charging it up, G-Man Toilet suddenly shoots Titan Speakerman with 2 of his lasers.
A coś mu odpadło,
distracting
chyba
him.
ta część głośnika jedna, nie? Co ma na
Titan
plecach.
Speakerman suddenly decides to attack G-Man Toilet. He probably has no idea about what to do in this situation, and with all the damage and pain, he might not be thinking straight, and while he was about to attack G-Man Toilet, the mind-controlled Titan cameraman attacks him out of nowhere, knocking Titan Speakerman down.
No,
and
tutaj
blood literally
walczą ze
steps
sobą.
on Titan Speakerman. That really wasn't cool of you, brah. We better get a better lens protector for Titan cameraman next time. After this, POV cameraman looks at G-Man Toilet, and we can see him laughing so confidently, but we all know that their
Jak to się mówi, kto się śmieje, ten się śmieje ostatni, tak?
expressions are about to change soon.
Ten się śmieje,
The
kto się
POV
śmieje ostatni.
cameraman suddenly decides to pull his rocket launchers out and shoot Scientist Toilet, but they literally have no effect on the TV monitor.
No za duży
But
ten
I commend
monitor
you,
jest.
brother. We should all thank this POV
No
cameraman.
chciał zrobić, słuchajcie, ten kamera large, to jest pewnie large, ponieważ tylko jego widzieliśmy wtedy i on jest zdolny unieść 2 naraz te wyrzutnie rakiet, no ale no
for
chciał
his
pomóc,
courage in
no.
this scene. Scientist Toilet turns his smirky face to the POV, but suddenly his TV monitor gets destroyed
Ten wyraz twarzy jest totalnie creepy.
out of nowhere, and the look on his face is a priceless scene. He is both shocked and terrified.
I tutaj też podpowiedzieliście, bo czytam komentarze wasze, Tytan, Tytan TVMAN rzucił tu nożem myśliwskim, nie? Także nieźle. To akurat fajnie wyglądało. Ja nie wiedziałem czym, ale to nóż.
Because he knows that the protection of this monitor is crazy good. 2 rockets just hit it and literally made no scratches on the TV monitor, but now it's completely destroyed. This also a new cracked screen look instead of the one that was used in episode 47 when Titan TV Man was stabbed by
Czy
Titan
nowy?
Speaker Man.
Wygląda
The
podobnie.
look on Scientist Toilet was actually leaked 2 days ago on Defuk Boom's merch store,
No
and we
mieliśmy
knew
leaki,
something was
tak.
up. And I also mentioned in my leaks video
Tylko jak widzicie w tych przeciekach, na przykład te, które były na sklepie, widać, że Boom to troszkę zedytował, bo nie było widać telewizora.
that the TV monitor
Także,
wasn't
że jest
there. And I
uszkodzony.
guess Defuk decided to remove it on the leak because it was cracked and destroyed
No
at
właśnie, nie chciał nam pokazać, zbytnio zaspoilerować, co się dzieje. Nie?
this point.
Dlatego jakby
The camera
zmienił
pans to
to,
the right
bo tego nie było w fabule.
too fast, but right at this same scene we also could see G-Man Toilet being scared as well. Even though it's impossible to understand, Defuk Boom sent this as a leak 50 minutes before the episode
A,
came
to był
out.
jeszcze jeden.
And
jak
in the
widzicie.
video we can literally see G-Man Toilet shaking. We also get to see the Titans, and Titan Cameraman falls down since he is no longer being controlled, and we have no idea how much damage
No najbardziej zniszczony jest Tytan kamera, niewątpliwie, nie?
he endured.
Tytan
But
głośnik
one thing
jeszcze
is
nie
for
jest tak
sure,
źle z
I
nim.
don't think we are going to see Titan Cameraman for a long time after this point, because the upgrades and restoration will take quite some time.
Na pewno możemy go zobaczyć szybciej, bo na logikę, tak racjonalnie myśląc, jeżeli ktoś prowadzi pierwszy raz naprawę, to wiecie, trwa dłużej, ale następnym razem, jak te same osoby będą, czy te same inżynierowie będą to robić, to będą już szybciej to robić, bo wiedzą jaki sposób, nie? Zawsze jak nabieracie doświadczenia, to robicie coś szybciej, sprawniej i tak dalej.
Yeah, how
Nie?
long Titan
Łatwiej
Speakerman
się to
will need,
wykonuje.
but he seems to be at least conscious and still standing. But all that aside, this was the exact point where the episode really started, and where we finally have gotten what we have been waiting for months now.
No,
The return
Tytan
of Titan TV Man. A
powrócił.
huge black smoke appears out of nowhere with white lights coming out of it, and suddenly, Titan TV Man says, "Your life ends now."
No właśnie, twoje życie kończy się teraz.
In reverse. Here you go. Listen to it yourself.
No,
Now that you heard it yourself, I won't go over his other lines until he says them all, because after the episode came out, Defuk sent me an audio file containing Titan TV.
poproszę, twórca wysłał mu audio pliki z tymi voice line'ami, tymi dialogami, co mówił Tytan.
Man's lines without all the background
Bo
sound
ciężko
effects,
było to w
since
ogóle
it was very hard to
wyczytać, nie?
understand this time. But after
Zrozumieć.
that, someone called Sky Factorial sent a video to my Discord. I have no idea who made this. It might be Sky Factorial, but
No, ale ktoś to przerobił i bardzo fajnie słychać jakby to, co mówi
whoever
Tytan.
did this literally sound engineered
Man.
and made every line sound like normal, and it's very clear what Titan TV
No
Man
właśnie.
says. But I'll show you all this closer to the end of the video.
Okej, na
While
końcu.
Titan TV Man is being teleported, G-Man Toilet says some stuff to Scientist Toilet while being very scared because he stops in the middle of
No,
his
G-Man to
sentence
uciekł od
and
razu.
literally escapes while screaming.
No,
Blood left his companion on the spot without any care. If Scientist Toilet knew this would happen, he probably never would have kissed G-Man Toilet.
no nie, tu pokazuje scenę całowania G-Mana w ogóle. Co tu się
did in the
dzieje?
troll leaks. Life must be tough when your best buddy.
Wydaje mi się, że przepraszam, gdyby to był prawdziwy naukowiec, to G-Man by został go bronić. Wydaje się, że to by jeszcze taka mała, tak delikatnie potwierdzało moją teorię, że to jest fałszywy
Leaves
naukowiec.
you like this. After this, Scientist Toilet still looks very scared, but he knows that his only option is to fight, so he starts getting ready. I thought he was actually going to teleport here because black smoke start coming out under
Zastanawia mnie to czerwone oko. Ciekawe, co to
him,
oznacza.
but I still have no idea what they were for. The POV cameraman suddenly turns to his right and we get our first glimpse of upgraded Titan TV Man starting with his purple sword attached to his
No
right
ten
arm.
miecz
It
kozacko
looks so
wygląda,
cool,
mega
and it does
fajnie.
seem like he might have some electricity or lightning powers because they keep coming from everywhere. He walks out of the black smoke with his new majestic body and upgrades, and Scientist Toilet tries to shoot him with rockets, but as you can guess,
Nie działa
they
w
literally
ogóle.
don't do anything.
No, te rakiety nie
Upgraded
działają.
Titan TV Man comes in without any mercy and slashes Scientist Toilet's upgrades starting from his right side to the left. We can see that Scientist Toilet is speechless and
No.
literally is frozen in fear. Titan TV Man also gets rid of the knockoff TV and starts using the red TV beam, and if you look carefully while he is using this, all the monitors come out. And it really seems like blood was there to clap Scientist Toilet. I don't know if you know this or not, but there were actually some troll leaks that Dafuk
No proszę, ja to pominę te trollowe liki, bo to wiecie.
Man has a
Serio,
screen
nie
on
chcę już
his
tego
crouch area
oglądać.
now. After the upgraded Titan TV Man uses his red beams, Scientist Toilet starts burning, and the upgraded Titan TV Man looks at him and says something which I'll go over later in the video.
No właśnie,
Also
dużo
in this scene
mówił.
we get a
Jak
much
na Tytana TV-mana to dużo w tym odcinku mówił,
Cleaner
nie?
look at Titan TV Man and his upgrades. His biggest upgrades are his head monitor and his right arm. We can see that his head monitor can now extend to both directions to increase the
To jest mega fajne, że teraz fajnie jakby z tyłu też miał monitor, nie? Żeby ubezpieczać jego plecy. To by było spoko. Z każdej strony monitory i człowiek monitor
output.
normalnie.
And he also has some bars sticking out behind his head. These might be antennas to increase his reach,
No i
but I'm
anteny
not
ma,
sure
to jest ciekawe, nie? Zobaczymy być może jakieś nowe umiejętności. To jest mega fajne, nie?
since it's our first time seeing it. They also look like a crown, literally symbolizing
korona,
that
no.
Titan TV Man is the king of this place.
Hmm.
We saw that he is the most powerful entity probably after Secret Agent, at least compared to entities we've seen so far. Also, if you look at his hands, he has some blades to increase his damage upon punching someone, and he also has some type of
To jest ciekawe, ja nie spostrzegłem tego za pierwszym razem, ale rzeczywiście on ma coś na rękach, jak Wolverine, wiecie?
protection or output increaser on his core now. He also got his shoulder blades back, which were cut in episode
Tutaj widzicie takie... Tak jakby to było, wiecie, jak Wolverine.
47. This really is the best design so far,
Z
but my
X-Menów.
favorite part is the blade he has.
No,
I have one
ostrze.
question though. What shot the TV monitor that Scientist Toilet used, because that was like a gunshot?
To jest nóż myśliwski, wygląda jak z CS-a. Może, wiecie, otwierał skrzynki Tytan TV Man, no i zdobył jakiegoś tam
And we can't
noża.
see anything similar on Titan TV Man. Maybe it's an upgrade we haven't seen yet. But nonetheless, after Titan TV Man says something to Scientist Toilet, he pierces his blade through Scientist Toilet's head, but we don't see any blood coming out, and once he pulls it out, it's
No jak mi powie ktoś, że to jest dla dzieci i widzi taką scenę, to ja nie wiem, co musi mieć ta osoba w głowie, jak powie, że to jest serial dla dzieci, jak tam się takie sceny tutaj są, no. Także współczuję każdemu dziecku, które ogląda coś takiego.
clear that he is fully mechanic. And even though he was stabbed through the head and has a freaking hole inside his head, he is still alive. This could mean two things. He either was never a real human or he still
No
has a
właśnie,
human
to
body.
też tu macie kolejną jakby taką poszlakę, że to nie był prawdziwy naukowiec, bo wygląda to jakby on był totalnie robotyczny. Tu nie ma jakby elementów ludzkich, to jest maska i elektronika w środku.
Somewhere else. I think it's the second option because we have seen Scientist Toilet as a normal toilet
Tak.
before, and he suddenly got big afterwards, and I honestly don't think that Scientist Toilet is fully dead, even though this version is dead. I think he has a body somewhere else, and he might actually have more robotic bodies around the world which shares his consciousness. That might be the reason why he is able to show up literally everywhere all the time, but I'm not sure. One thing I'm certain is he wasn't scared enough for someone that's about to die for good. He seemed like he knew this wasn't the end for him, which is very scary to think about. And also don't forget that this version had a red eye. Maybe that was an indicator for us.
No właśnie. Co oznacza jeszcze to czerwone oko?
I don't think this
No.
scientist was an imposter, but I think it was a clone he made for himself.
Czy Jimen miał czerwone oczy? Chyba nie.
Maybe
Ten
that's why his
fejkowy.
right eye was red. I guess we'll learn the truth later in the series. After piercing through his head, Titan TV Man starts getting ready for one of the craziest special abilities we have seen on the series so far. But before I talk about that, while I was rewatching the episode, it just dawned on me that Titan TV Man's blade looked familiar,
No,
and
jak
it actually looks similar to
Optimus
the
Prime.
orange blade
No.
Optimus Prime uses.
Z
I don't know if this
Transformersy.
was a coincidence or if Dafuk took
Myślę, że Boom się wzorował na tym.
inspiration.
Co, Boom jest wielkim fanem Transformersów? To kiedy będziemy mieli jakieś przemiany.
It fits perfectly. But let's get back to the episode. Titan TV Man starts charging up his core suddenly, and Scientist Toilet is not even trying to do anything, and once the core is
Minus tego, że to jest bardzo potężna broń, ale długo trzeba czekać, żeby wystrzeliło. Długo się ładuje.
charged up, upgraded Titan TV Man uses his core laser and literally melts Scientist Toilet's face off. This laser probably is the strongest laser in the series so far because we've seen G-Man Toilet's new lasers, Scientist Toilet's new laser, and Titan Speaker Man's core laser, and none of them can come close to this. Blood's face literally is gone after getting lasered for a few seconds.
No i to też świadczy o czym, że to chyba nie była prawdziwa twarz, no. Po prostu się stopiła jakby ta warstwa, no.
After this, Titan TV Man looks at the POV cameraman and says his last words in this episode while making a cute face. This really shows the duality of man. This guy just melted someone's face off, and now he is making this face.
No.
But before we get into what he said in this episode, there are a few questions we have to ask. What happened to Plunger Cameraman? Because as you guys know, he was there in part 2.
No właśnie, co
and he
się
was
z
knocked out
Plungerem, z ninją stało?
instantly. And we
Wydaje mi się, że on przeżył, bo raczej nie widzieliśmy,
haven't
jak
seen him in
on
this
ginie.
episode. My guess would be that special agents will arrive in the next episode and save him, but what will happen to the Titan duo, because they need to get repaired as soon as possible. We also have the question of, where did G-Man Toilet go because he just came back and blood dipped? I think he might come back sooner than we think with some backup, because as we all know, this place is the base of Skibidi toilets, and I don't
Nie
think they
wiemy
would
co z
give up that easily.
astrotoaletami tak
Now
naprawdę,
let's
nie?
get to what Titan TV Man actually said. Some of his lines were very clear, but especially the short ones were a little distorted because of the background sound effects and such, and DeFluke
No.
has sent me this file so that you guys can hear it more clearly. Starting with his last line, he said, "That's all," at the end of the video.
Okej,
At least
czyli to wszystko, tak? No, powiedział na
that's
końcu.
what I think. Here you go, listen to it yourself.
Tak, to wszystko, that's
After
all.
this, we have the line he said after using the red beams on Scientist Toilet. And he said, "Still alive?" And here you go, listen
Wciąż żyjesz? Still alive? Yeah.
to it yourself. After this, we have the line he said right before coming out of the black smoke, and he said, "Where are you going?" Here you go.
Tak, where are you going?
I'm not going to
powiedział.
go over the first line again since I already made you listen to that, but he said, "Your life ends now." In the
Twoje
beginning.
życie kończy się
At
teraz,
least
nie?
these are my guesses, since nothing has been confirmed by DeFluke.
Dużo jak
But
na
as I said in the
TV
beginning,
Mana.
someone on my Discord sent this, and I still have
Także
no idea
nieźle.
how
Okej,
Blood might be working for the FBI because this is too perfect. Listen to it yourself and you'll understand.
okej, fajnie.
This episode was really crazy and certainly one of
No, muszę przyznać, że naprawdę długą analizę razem przeprowadziliśmy, moi drodzy. Niedługo, mam nadzieję, że będę się czuł lepiej, wracamy z pełną energią i siłą. Życzę wam wszystkiego dobrego i dużo zdrowia. Sprawdźcie też kolejne odcinki, no i na moich innych kanałach również.